I'm Lisa Lashes from the Lisa Lashes School of Music, and you are listening to the LLSOM Kickstart to Your Musical Journey podcast.
Welcome to the Lisa Lashes School of Music podcast. I'm here with two of the Kickstarts today, Johnny and Curtis. Why don't you tell us about yourselves, guys?
I'm a multi-genre producer, DJ, part-time comedian. Anything you want to add on to that? I just basically make music, play out at raves, and just make music. That's about it. I'm just a musician.
Nice.
That's it.
And you, Johnny?
Yeah, same here. I'm a musician as well. I've been writing my own tracks from a young age, probably like the age of 10, and just kept pursuing it. And yeah, I've got music on all digital platforms now. I've got a project releasing soon next week. So yeah, I'm a musician as well. And yeah, I love music, man. So yeah.
Fantastic. So here at the School of Music, Lisa Lashes School of Music, must be fantastic for you. How are you actually finding it working from home, Johnny?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic, to be fair. Obviously you can just roll out of bed and then go on your PC and do work. I'm not complaining really, and I've been really enjoying the placement since I've started. So yeah.
Brilliant. And Curtis as well, like I can imagine being able to work from home just gives you the opportunity to work on so many projects so kind of efficiently, not having to worry about traveling, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'll bring up a really good point about this placement, which I think goes over people's heads a lot. Obviously, a lot of us that are musicians, we're literally getting paid to do what we love. So like it's no, you can't say it any less. Like if you are a musician, this is your dream job. Like it is, you get paid to do what you want to do. There's nothing better. And again, like you say, I don't have to, especially with what's happening in the world at the minute, fuel is very high. I'm lucky that I don't have to buy fuel at the minute, because like Johnny says, I literally just have to have a shower when I get out of bed and come to my studio. So it's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It is fantastic. And I wanted to ask the two of you, as musicians, because obviously you're into your music, the two of you, what would you say? I think I'll start with Curtis. What kind of genres would you say you're into?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think that like I would limit myself to certain genres, but like I've got what I play and I produce, which is like just rave stuff, happy hardcore, hard style. But then on the flip side, like I'll sit there with a beer sometimes and I'll listen to Queen. So there's a whole diversity of just different genres. Like 1 minute I could be listening to AC/DC, next I got Justin Bieber. I don't know, just it's that random of a change. Like
yeah, why limit yourself really? Why limit yourself to a particular genre when there's so much to go out and explore, you know? And you, Johnny?
Oh, it's like
say the same.
To be honest, yeah, I like any music. I appreciate all types of music. Obviously, I started off like I'm an MC mainly, so I like rap and all that type of stuff, grime and that. But as I sort of progressed with my music stuff myself, I've learned how to sing better and come up with melodies and jumping on other genres. It started with Curtis ever since I met him through Lisa Lashes. He does hardcore music, so I done vocals for a track for his hardcore track, which I've never done before. So I feel like with this company as well, like you can network with so many people through it, doing different types of genres and really sort of express yourself in a different kind of way. So yeah, I like a bit of everything, like Curtis said, to be fair.
Absolutely. And I think you've made a massively good point there, which is the thing about this placement is that it allows for so much networking with so many talented, different talented people with so many skills to share. And I feel like it just kind of fosters creativity in such a kind of fantastic way. Look at the two of you, obviously since you both joined, you've been getting on board with each other in your projects, in sort of your passions. So it sounds fantastic. Did you always feel that you were going to be involved in music in some way?
Yeah, kinda. I always knew I was going to be a performer. At first I was like a bit of a comedian, because I was like a bit of a class clown at school. And And then I kind of actually got into music off of like, do you know, bass boosted stuff on YouTube?
Yeah, classic.
So like back in the day, everyone was bass boosting stuff, and it's kind of I made like little videos like that, similar to what Jake's kind of done. I think that's why we kind of bounce off each other, because we both went into YouTube before music, so we're kind of in the same sort of industry where it's entertaining. It's just, I think music really captured me rather than jokes, because it fills the soul a bit more, like music. I feel it's all right having a laugh, but music can just change your emotions just completely, whether they're good or bad. It can just change, which is good in my eyes. That's what music should do.
Absolutely, I think you're right there. And Johnny, when was it that you first decided that you were going to go into the music industry, or you were going to try and make something of this?
I mean, I used to be in the choir at primary school, so I feel like from that moment on, and then there was a show called The Tempest, like William Shakespeare play that we'd done in year 6, and I had like a solo that I'd done in the play. And sort of when I'd done that solo in front of all the parents and everything, I was just like, everything just sort of disappeared in my mind, and I was so focused. I was like, do you know what, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life type thing. And yeah, man, in terms of rapping, like I just used to meet my mates and we'd play football and then hang around and just make lyrics and start writing and do bars and stuff to each other. And since then I haven't really looked back. I've worked in warehouses and stuff, but I feel like, what's the point of doing something that you don't enjoy? That's the reason why I joined this Kickstarter scheme, because it's like what Curtis said, it's pretty much a dream job. You're getting paid to make music.
And I wanted to touch on something, because you say, you talk about all the experiences that you had growing up with music and all the different kind of areas that you've kind of found yourself in music. So do you find that all the self-teaching that you've done, because a lot of the music that you do, I understand, is you're self-taught basically. So would you say that it's helping you with this kind of job?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, man. Obviously YouTube helped me a lot with it, because I'm more of an artist than a producer. Obviously artists can do both, he can produce as well, but ever since sort of just before this Kickstarter scheme, and when I started, I've started to make my own beats and learn on Logic, and through the company people have been giving me ideas and a lot of help when I've been doing my work, so I feel like that's helped. And yeah, it's like every week we have a different brief, like the warm-up music track, the sports track, and it's really good just to expand your knowledge and do research on different tracks that you don't really know about.
Honestly, that's another great thing to bring up, because the thing about the School of Music working there is that, as you say, there's so much that they're teaching us, different kinds of genres, different kinds of styles of music. And I'm going to put Curtis on the spot here. What kind of skills do you reckon that this placement has kind of offered you since you started?
I'd say more mental health, to be honest with you, rather than anything. I know quite a lot in production. I wouldn't say that like I haven't learned nothing, because I've learned a lot through different genres. But I definitely would say it's more the confidence push, that obviously connecting with different people. Yeah, it's just been a massive confident push, and it's just a bit of like, it's just refreshing, because you're around people with the same sort of aspirations, the same sort of just, it's nice. It's like being at school and you've never had no one that's been able to talk about football, and then you finally find people that you can talk about football with. Like, it's like unlocking a new world, if you know what I mean. Like
100%.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is the thing, because like I feel like everyone's passion kind of rises to the top here, like you can have a conversation with one guy 1 minute, and the next thing you know, you're just having this biggest conversation about music, about artists, about everything, and it kind of allows you to meet some great people. As you say, there's some great tutors working here, so it's all really good stuff, for sure. Going back to what you were saying, Johnny, you said you were talking about mixing. I understand you mix vocals as well. What kind of artists do you have you mixed vocals for?
Singers, rappers. Like my mate who I do music with, because essentially during lockdown I built my own studio, because I couldn't go to my engineer's studio because of COVID and stuff. So sort of self-taught, got my own little setup, and then my mates were coming through and I was mixing their vocals, and I've had some female singers come through. which has been really interesting because I haven't ever worked on female vocals or anything. So yeah, it's been really good, to be fair.
And Curtis, so obviously you do, as you said, you do a lot of DJing, a lot of producing. What gives you the bigger buzz? Is it the making the tunes, or is it the DJing for you, would you say?
Couldn't choose one that's over another, because when I first DJ'd and I seen people dancing, I was just buzzed to see people dancing. But when you've made something that's took like a year's worth of graft and they're dancing to something that 100% come out of your head, it's different, like two different ball games. Like, it's two different feelings. Like, it's a really weird one, but I'd have to say both for me, just because of like I'm a producer and a DJ. But if you'd ask someone that's just a DJ, they'd just say DJ, same as a producer, they'd just say producer. But they're like, it's like that.
No, I'm glad to get a perspective on both sides, because it is both fantastic. For someone like myself who hasn't done much production, I've done a bit of production here and there, but it's just been it's kind of welcomed me into the world a lot more, and I'm finding it fantastic. So we were talking earlier about obviously the production that you guys have been doing. You obviously have home studios to get everything done. Now, this is a good topic because there's probably a lot of people out there watching this they're interested in having a home studio, but they're not sure about the costs, the benefits. So I wanted to say, do you think, given that you've spent so much money on your home studios, do you think that it's worth it in the end?
Oh, 100%. I feel like every musician should definitely have their own setup, because it's like, if you come up with something in your head, just a little melody or some lyrics, you can just go on the mic and lay it down instead of having to go to a studio somewhere else. And do you know what I mean? It's just a lot more efficient, really. And I feel like this hasn't cost me too much. I've got an interface that's £100. I've got a mic that's £70, and I've got 2 monitors for about £100 odd. So it's not too much. You can just get a cheap mic, a cheap interface, and like a Focusrite especially is only like 80 quid or something, and that's one of the best ones. So I feel like you don't need to spend, like, I've got a mate who spent like 10 grand on his home studio and getting a Newman mic, which was like 700 quid and stuff. Like, if you just starting out, you don't need that. You just need a basic setup, and then you're good to go, really.
By the sounds of it, then, it's never been more kind of accessible for people who are looking to kind of set up their own studio. So I wanted to ask the two of you. I'll start with Curtis. When you're outside of work, what sort of stuff are you doing in your free time? I wouldn't be surprised to hear that you're doing the exact same stuff after work that you're doing in work.
Basically, yeah. I own my own company. Little shout out to us, Eternally Hardcore.
Nice.
Yeah, basically I just make music for that. On top of that, me and Japes actually made a new label from talking off of Lisa Lashes. So, like, to add on to that, like, another thing that we've made out that's come out of Lisa Lashes is, as well as Lewis, he's an old Kickstarter. Me, him, and Johnny actually made a whole brand new label. And if it weren't for Lisa Lashes, that wouldn't have came. Which is mad to think about it, to be fair.
For sure. And to be honest with you, I think that's one of the best parts about the job, is that all the stuff we're doing, it is under the kind of umbrella of Lisa Lashes as an artist, who is obviously well renowned, revered, Queen of Hard House. So that in itself is fantastic. If you told me, like, probably even any time last year that I'd be working in a company for Lisa Lashes, I wouldn't believe it, but it's fantastic. It's a perfect kind of outlet, I'd say. So guys, you make a lot of music each year. I wanted to ask, what kind of platforms would we find your music on? And I'll start with Johnny on that one.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, all the digital platforms, bro. Just under Japes, Japes. And my Instagram's @Japes1. If anyone wants to follow that, I'm always posting on there. So
nice. And you, Curtis?
So people that know and follow me know that I'm notorious for kind of not giving out any of my tracks. I'm so bad at releasing tracks. But if you go to www.eternallyhardcore.co.uk, that's where all my tracks kind of go. I sign them to my own label. Yeah, or if not, it's just Coley.
So you're talking about your own label there, and this is something I want to touch on because I had a guest on. Well, it's obviously the video's been edited, but he's called Denox and he has his own label as well. And when I talked to him, the main reason that he gave for having his own label was that it kind of allowed for that creativity for you to put exactly what you want on your label without the restraints of what other people kind of expect. What would you say that the main kind of benefit to having your own label?
Honestly, I kind of made the label because it's probably the same for all kinds of music scenes, but for the hard dance scene, it's really, really hard to actually get gigs. Like,
Right.
I'm in a weird place where people will book me to play Mexico. I've been offered to be like booked like in 4 or 5 different countries, but I can't actually get booked in the UK, which is completely, it's so backwards.
Mind blowing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's completely backwards. So the theory that I had was there is just so many people that just don't get a chance. Like whether they've been in the industry for 10 years or 10 weeks. The whole point of Eternally Hardcore was to give people that chance to get their music on a platform. And you said that you're getting into production. For people that are getting into production, we openly give tutorials, free tutorials, and we help people expand their knowledge on hard dance. And if they make good enough tracks in that, after a while, like they've got a label there that will instantly sign it to. And yeah, we just try give people an opportunity to kind of make money through their music, because often I've said it to Japes before, Spotify and all these top streaming platforms take a percentage which is just too big. So a lot of the time people are doing work for minimal amounts of money. That's why I kind of made the label.
Yeah, I've often heard that's an issue with the streaming. Spotify specifically comes up, you know.
Yeah, they normally take a 45% share. We only take a 10%. That's, you can see the difference. Like
it's like 12p per download, I think, on Spotify.
Yeah, it's you get 90p if someone buys it off of my store.
Yeah,
like 4 times as much.
Wow.
It just makes sense to do it like individually. Do you know what I mean? It's just cutting the middleman out basically, so people can have a chance to shine.
It's like just touched up on that a sec, Will. It's because I've been signed to a few distribution companies as well, and who said that they would distribute my music and stuff and take a certain percentage, and they wasn't really doing anything. I was still doing everything myself, like promoting it and stuff. So I feel like being independent and having your own label, like Kurt said, instead of joining another label and, you know, getting, you know, not the royalties that you get from your tracks and they just sort of take the mickey a bit. I feel like independent is the way to go, really, in terms of music. Unless some giant label wants to sign you or whatever. But
yeah, well, you say giant label, but I think this is also the problem. Is it's as you say, it's never been easy for people to offer services. But then the kind of pitfall that comes with that is that you need to know, you know, what you're dealing with is something quality and something proper, you know. So yeah, I can see how in that respect, so you know, your own label do you wonders. I wanted to ask the two of you. I'll start with Johnny on this one. So where do you plan on heading after this placement?
Yeah, it's like what we was discussing before. I'm sure hopefully there'll be a lot of opportunities still with the company that I'd like to continue with. But yeah, anything to do with music production, music, I'll be continuing that. It's like I said to you, I've had jobs before where I haven't really enjoyed, and just feel like I'm at that certain point in my life now where I just want to do music. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else. It makes me happy. And yeah, it's always enjoyable doing what you love to do. So yeah,
100%. You never work a day in your life if you work doing something you love. What about you, Curtis? Do you kind of echo that sentiment?
I've kind of been offered some places already. I can't really say too much on camera, but yeah, at the minute my plans, I would like to stay on full time with Lisa Lashes if there is a job after. That would be my like that would be nice for me at the minute. I'm enjoying the company. I'm enjoying what's coming on and what's happening, and I feel like I have so much more left to deliver if I'm in the right spot within the company. But if not, if it is a thing where it's just 6 months, I do have a friend in Mexico which has a label, and I'm looking at being the A&R sort of guy for that. It's like
Nice,
a
very
backup.
nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Well, guys, just before we go, I want to hear your socials again.
After
Just
you,
to
Curtis. You
everyone
do.
remember one. Say again, sorry.
I'll let Curtis do his first.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I make music under like 3 different names. So I don't know if you just want my main one, or do you want all 3, or what?
You know what? Drop all 3 down. Go on.
Okay, so we got Curtis Coley. We've got Little Nipper, LILNIPPER, and then we got JustColey, but it's literally JUSTCOLEY, not just like literally Coley on its own. But yeah, that's it.
You had that problem before, yeah?
Hundreds of times.
I love it. I love it. And you, Johnny?
Yeah, it's just Japes, JAPES. Like I said, my Instagram's Japes1, and that's what I mainly post on. So yeah.
Pleasure talking to you, lads. Thanks a lot.
You too. We really enjoyed it. Thank you, mate.
Yeah,
Cheers.
thank you, mate.